Are you ready to upgrade your combine? Don't wait. Act now to choose from the widest selection of used combines at Acres Equipment. Acres, Nebraska's leading John Deere combine dealer, is offering 2.9% interest for 60 months on over 100 pre-owned combines. Each combine includes our A-plus uptime program to keep you running flawlessly throughout harvest season. Go to acres.com to view a huge inventory of low-hour, late-model equipment. Find what you like, and we'll deliver it to your farm for free. Acres, solutions for every field.
Repeat after me. I will not touch the fuse box.
I will probably not touch the fuse box.
Sip, do you remember what happened last time?
Yeah, I remember.
What happened?
Half of the city block lost power.
And?
My chicken condo went haywire.
That's right. The chickens ran wild. So what do we do instead?
Call Joe at Ambition Electric and let him handle everything. Look, saved on speed dial.
Ambition Electric, 402-217-3415, or online at ambitionelectric.com. You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today. Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Tune in to the Malone Radio Show from 9 to 10 p.m. every Sunday night to learn more about the Malone Center's goal to eliminate multi-generational poverty in Lincoln. It's the Malone Radio Show every Sunday night from 9 to 10 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The Lincoln Chamber of Commerce, Nebraska National Guard, 55th Wing, and Lincoln Airport Authority presents the Guardians of Freedom Air Show, featuring the U.S. Navy Blue Angels, the F-16 Viper demo team, F-35, and the Air Force Wings of Blue. Experience a spectacle that your family will remember forever. The Guardians of Freedom Air Show, Saturday, August 26th and Sunday, August 27th at Lincoln Air Park. Parking and admission are free. Learn more at lincolnairshow.com.
Gather round. This is the Ticket Water Cooler.
This is what the greatest thing about sports. You play to win the game.
Coming at you live in the heart of Lincoln, America.
I think, hold up, wait a minute. That ain't right.
On air and online at theticketfm.com. Here are your hosts, Jake Baco and Enrique Alvarez Cleary.
We are back here on the Ticket Water Cooler for a Wednesday edition here on 93.7 The Ticket. Once again, brought to you by the Guardians of Freedom Air Show, which is not this coming weekend, but the next weekend. So we'll look forward to that. Rico, how's your day going?
So far, so good.
So far, so good.
Happy birthday to the black shirt.
That's
He's
right.
leaving with a haul of goodies. He's got beef jerky. He's got a bag of candy. He's got a 12-pack Mountain Dew. He's got some little chocolate covered cake balls.
Did he take his cake?
He took a decent amount of the cake. He might have taken the whole thing, but I think he left a little bit for us because he's such a generous person.
He is.
He got a bottle of Mountain Dew delivered by a listener. Shout out to One-Eyed Ray.
That's right.
And just a great birthday for the one and only Terrell Farley, aka the Black Shirt.
That's right. AKA Two Grills.
Nobody calls him that.
He's trying to start that.
Nope.
Or is doing it.
Nobody call him Two Girls. Please do not feed his ego.
Oh, if anybody needs their ego fed, it's Terrell. I'd love to see Terrell have his time, and it's a lot of fun. So happy birthday again to one of the greatest Husker defenders of all time. Let's jump into this because I wanted to get to it and kind of promote it on social media. It's interesting where we are with the wide receiver position. Of course, Xavier Betts leaves the team and kind of leaves a hole there for somebody to step up. And for a lot of us, you kind of think at first, okay, freshman wide receivers, who's going to step up there? Matt Rule kind of addressed that. We'll revisit that here in his last media outing. The importance of the next few weeks for freshman wide receivers as they get ready for this game. And if you are looking forward to some of these freshman wide receivers, his answer might surprise you.
Yeah, I'm giving them all an opportunity to play. I don't know that we need any of the freshmen to play at wideout. We'd love to have them play if they're ready, but the older guys know how to play. That first game, the team we're playing, that's gonna be a grown man game. They play real football. If I told our older guys, you guys want to win, you better see a bunch of veteran players out there on special teams. You can't subcontract out winning to young players. Now, some young players will be ready, some won't. What you're hoping is that we're just going to give our guys chances to get reps and play. And if they're ready, they're ready. If they're not, they're not. Because otherwise, the freshmen, they'll start to put a ton of pressure on themselves, and they'll start, they can't sleep at night because they're so worried about making a mistake. And this is the game of mistakes, you know what I mean? So the older guys have figured that out. So if Malachi's ready, great. If not, he's going to be a great player here. He's an amazing young man with what things he's done and overcome in his life. If he's ready, great. If, Jalen Lloyd's ready, great. If Jeremiah or Jaden ready, great. But the older guys are the ones who will lead us through. And I think one or two of those guys will step up. I really do, and be ready. And maybe it's game 6. Maybe it's game 7. The new rule now you can play 4 games plus the postseason. So hopefully these guys get to play five or so games and go from there.
So there you have it. You hear Matt Rule not necessarily thinking that they're going to have to lean on a whole lot of freshmen, saying if they're ready, that's great, but it's going to take kind of a veteran approach to beat this Minnesota team. I'm glad he's not at all taking them lightly. It's good to hear that sort of comment, but it just kind of makes you think what we're going to see out of the rotation for the wide receivers. I think, Marcus Washington, a little bit banged up. Is he going to be completely ready for that game?
Mm-hmm.
IGC certainly factors in. Isaiah Garcia Castaneda, Joshua Fleeks, the veteran transfer from Baylor. That's why you brought him over, to kind of have a veteran presence. And of course, Billy Kemp, who I think is going to be a mainstay for Nebraska's wide receiver unit. But that's 4 guys. You're going to need more than that. And so you kind of look at, if he says the freshmen are ready, you kind of start to look at some of the wideouts. Ty Hahn, one of those guys, maybe Alex Bullock. Both those guys have been kind of getting a little bit of attention from camp. You can look further down. Elliott Brown has got good praise at times in the past. Baron Miles Jr., we know there. So, I mean, there's an opportunity for some of those walk-on wide receivers. And I put a list together to make you feel a little bit better on that, because I know initially that makes you feel like, I don't know, but there's been some good walk-on wide receivers in the past.
I mean, every time we talk about the wide receiver room, we talk about depth, we immediately go from the seniors and the guys who have experience playing to the freshmen. We always skip over the middle, the juniors, the sophomores, the redshirt sophomores, the redshirt freshmen. We always skip over those guys, but those guys have also been here, even if they haven't gotten a lot of playing time or seen the field all that much. They've been here, or they've been in college for a decent amount of time. They know what it takes. They're also football players, some of them on scholarships, some of them walk-ons, but they're all, pretty solid athletes, or else they wouldn't be in a Division I program. So it's not all on the seniors and all on the freshmen. There are some guys that will be mixed in there that maybe we're not talking about just yet. But to me, like he said, you're going to want to see those older guys on special teams making a difference. And really the 3 that you mentioned, IGC, Joshua Fleeks, Billy Kemp, I feel like you're going to see them a lot on special teams, not just as return men either. I think they'll be, punt, kickoff teams as well.
And that was an emphasis, I think, that was kind of starting to take hold last year when Bill Bush took over the special teams. But certainly I hope you see with Matt Rule and staff, where as Frost has kind of put the developmental or walk-ons or guys out there, and they really never tried to make special teams much of a weapon. And that's the third phase of the game. That can be a game changer.
It was freshmen in one of their 4 games, or the 4 games that they played was just special teams. They wouldn't be on offense or defense. It was just, you're on the punt team. Oh, that's your 4 games. Now we're going to throw a different freshman in there. We're going to throw a walk-on in there. And and this isn't to take anything away from the freshmen or the walk-ons, but you could tell that it wasn't as good as it could have been, especially, as you said, after Bill Bush took over, and you could see, an actual semblance of special teams.
And again, it's not to say that there's not, like, I think ideally you want to mix on special teams, because there are guys that if they're not playing and can put all their energy towards special teams, like they can that can be their craft. They can really figure it out. I think Phelan Sanford is a good example of that. He's been one of Nebraska's better special teams players over the last couple of years, and
he worked his way into the defense.
He's starting to play a little bit in the defense too.
I mean, he started a couple games due to injuries.
Yeah.
So he was out there, and it's not like you could tell the opposing offense wasn't picking on him. He's still a tremendous athlete. So it works.
Yeah.
You go from special teams and work your way into offense, defense. Sometimes that's just a starting point, a jumping off point.
But there have been guys like if you are a freshman, that's how you can kind of make your way up, like we were just saying, like Phelan Sanford has. He did it kind of from the walk-on position. But I remember guys like Eric Martin, just a special teams demon, Ricky Thenarsi, both really good special teams players.
Eric Martin killed a guy.
Eric Martin almost did kill a guy. But then there's other guys in the past that have kind of just been that. There's not a whole lot more to the story as far as eventually making it over to the defensive side or the offensive side. They've just been special teams guys. And so I think you need a good mix of that. But as far as walk-on wide receivers, if they play in the rotation, I think they will. We might see a few balls caught from walk-on wide receivers. Let's test your knowledge. We're going to go all the way back to the mid-2000s.
This isn't going to be good, and you know it.
So this is walk-on wide receiver trivia. I'm not going to ask you names.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you names. I'm going to tell you numbers, and then you tell me if they could beat the previous guy. So we're going to go in order. It won't be too bad.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. I was scared I was going to have to name people, and I was like, I'm sorry to all of these people, but I don't know who you are. I don't know that man.
Let me go ahead and say this. So I've got walk-on wide receivers in kind of two groups. One that, are all going to kind of be in this playing field, which is going to be, you saying if more or less.
Okay.
And then there's two guys that eventually earned scholarships and just became Nebraska football players. You kind of forget about the walk-on thing. And so we'll start with them, and we'll see if you can get this trivia right.
Okay. And we want you guys to play along.
Play along, everybody.
402-464-5685, Honda of Lincoln Hotline, Starter Heyman text line, and on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Allo Channel 951, the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream. We want you guys to play along also. So join in on the fun while I just fail at this.
So the two guys that I think rose above, again, this is from mid-2000s to current time, that rose above kind of the walk-on wide receiver label in gut scholarship, and by the end, you kind of even forgot that they were walk-ons, is Brandon Riley. Originally a walk-on, and Todd Peterson back in the Callahan days, originally a walk-on as well. Between the two of them, both of them over 1,000 yards in their career. So it is, I mean, they both, were big mainstays on those teams. So let me ask you this: more yards and more touchdowns for one than the other. Was it Todd Peterson or Brandon Riley?
It was. You said Todd Peterson played Callahan?
Yeah, Callahan era with kind of Nate Swift, Maurice Purify, Franz Hardy.
It was Todd Peterson.
It was Todd Peterson. Todd Peterson, who played from 2005 to 2008, had 108 catches in his career. Remember, I'm doing career numbers, not season numbers.
That'd be a very impressive season.
He would be the Blitnikoff Award winner if he finished with this. 108 yards, 108 receptions for 1,602 yards and 13 touchdowns. Todd Peterson, a big weapon.
Yeah, but did he ever have a game-winning catch where it was debated if he stayed in if he was pushed out of bounds or not? Didn't think so.
I don't think so. I don't think he did that. But Brandon Riley did have a good career as well, and we know he went on to play a little bit in the NFL. 70 receptions, 1,275 yards. And 6 touchdowns. So those guys kind of rose above the walk-on label.
Including a win against Michigan State.
And help beat Michigan State. So now we'll move on to more of the guys that kind of stayed in that area, helped out the team enough that you knew them. There were names that you would know if you were following the Huskers.
Okay.
But still kind of walk-on wide receivers. We'll start with Oliver Martin. Oliver Martin is kind of our flag bearer here, so we're going to start with him. We're going to get
Oliver Martin wasn't a walk-on.
He started as a walk-on. He was a walk-on. He transferred from Michigan to Iowa, but he was a walk-on.
So he's a walk-on at Nebraska.
He's a walk-on at Nebraska.
I feel like that shouldn't count, but okay.
What do you think his career numbers were? This is the one that you might struggle with because I'm just throwing it.
He played what? 3 years, 2 years?
3 years at Nebraska.
3 years. Didn't seem like he caught all that many. I'm going to go. I feel like one season was a decent. I'm going to go, 42 catches?
26.
Oh, wow. I am way off. See, I wasn't sure. I was like, like 10 catches a season. Oh, no, we'll go higher than that. There's more than that. 26?
26 catches.
26.
there's no way he averaged like 100 a game, or 100 a season. 26 for 201.
428. How dare you?
Oh my goodness.
428 yards and 2 touchdowns. Was that more or less than Brody Belt?
Less.
That was more than Brody Belt.
Brody Belt was, he ran a lot. Brody Belt was like Scott Frost loved Brody Belt.
Yeah.
Let me just put it down. Scott Frost loved Brody Belt.
Brody Belt was the utility guy, but as far as a wide receiver, only 13 catches, 132 yards, and a touchdown from 2020 to 2022.
Brody Belt's a running back. It shouldn't count.
Well, it's at least a name I wanted to throw in.
Yeah. Shout out to Brody Belt. That's all you wanted.
All right. Oliver Martin, more or less than Levi Falk, who played for Nebraska from 2020 to 2021.
Levi Falk. More than Levi Falk.
It is more than Levi Falk. Levi also had some pretty good numbers, though, as a walk-on wide receiver. 31 catches, 345 yards, and a touchdown.
I remember the name. I do not remember much about Levi Falk, though.
Kind of a tall,
I feel
wide receiver.
I feel like we were excited for Levi Falk at one point. I feel like he might have had a big game, and we were like, well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
This is a good receiver. And then we never heard anything.
He had size. I mean, 345 yards is pretty good for a walk-on wide receiver throughout his career. That's just 2 years, by the way. All right. Now, a guy that transferred out, but was originally a walk-on as well. So we're still on Oliver Martin's number of 26 receptions for 428 yards. Is that more or less than Cade Warner, who played at Nebraska from 2018 to 2022?
Cade Warner. Hold on. Okay. Cade Warner did great at Kansas State.
He did.
Now he's with the Bucks right now.
That's right.
Him and Trey Palmer. I would say reunited, but they never played together.
They might not know each other.
They definitely don't know each other, but they're both Huskers.
Yes.
At one point. Cade Warner was a target. He was targeted a lot. He also had a decent amount of drops.
Yes. He was a captain at one time.
He was. It doesn't mean that he had a good season. I'm gonna go Cade Warner less than Oliver Martin.
Cade Warner did have less than Oliver Martin. From 2018 to 2020, Cade Warner had 30 receptions, 236 yards, and never scored a touchdown.
He had like 3.
He dropped 3, like 3
at least.
And then the captain fell out of the rotation.
Yeah.
So could have been more.
And then at Kansas State, I feel like he had like 6 in the one in like
he did. He had 5 total.
Yeah, in like the 2 seasons he was there.
Yeah. And then let's move on here. So Oliver Martin's still our leader. To Lane Hovey, who played from 2014 to 2015.
I know that name, but I could not tell you a single thing about Tulane Hovey. So I'm just going to say less.
You might want to go under. Yeah. Lane Hovey, 17 receptions, 227 yards, and a touchdown. All right, let's move on to 2012 to 2013. Walk-on wide receiver Sam Birch.
Less.
He also had less.
Yeah.
12 receptions, 147 yards, but 3 touchdowns, which the touchdowns might be more than anybody else.
That's pretty impressive
on this list. That's pretty good.
You're gonna have to give me like a 3-year guy to get more than Oliver Martin, because although he was a walk-on, I feel like he was a scholarship player at Michigan.
I'd have to double check if at Iowa or Michigan he was, but I know at Nebraska.
I mean, if you're transferring from D1 to D1 to D1, I feel like you had to be a scholarship player at some point.
I'm not sure. I
don't know how many walk-ons are going to transfer from Nebraska to Purdue to Indiana. I'm just going like down. So like Nebraska to Purdue to Indiana.
Yeah.
Because you went Michigan, Iowa, Nebraska. That's still a step down in terms of how good the teams are. It's still, I'm right. Shut up. I'm right. So like Nebraska, Purdue, Indiana. Like I don't know how many walk-ons from here are going to be able to do that.
Purdue's probably upset about you putting them in second there.
Well, they are.
they beat Nebraska last year.
That's true. You're right. Okay, hold on. Nebraska, Indiana, Northwestern. There we go.
Northwestern also beat Nebraska.
Okay, but we know. Okay, we know.
We know that they were better.
We know that shouldn't have happened. But Northwestern knows.
Yes, the infamous onside kick that turned the game around. All right, one last name for you. Oliver Martin's 428 yards. Was that better, more or less than another Callahan era guy? Grant Mulkey from 2004 to 2005 was one of the wide receivers for that unit, one of the bigger name wide receivers. It is less. You end up with the victory, because that is the last question there.
Victory!
Grant Mulkey had 45 receptions, 515 yards, and 2 touchdowns before unfortunately being kicked off the team. I think he got in a kerfuffle with Richie Incognito at one point in time.
Wow, you got in a fight with Richie Incognito? I feel like that's everybody on that team.
Yeah. So
If you told me anybody from any of those teams with Richie got in a fight with him, not surprised.
yeah, that's what you would expect. How would you be a teammate with?
Not
Richie and
surprised
Duncan?
at all. If you didn't get in a fight with him, you weren't trying. Yeah, no, Oliver Martin was definitely a scholarship receiver for Michigan. He was the 47th best wide receiver, maybe just the 47th best recruit as a prospect. Number 7 wide receiver in the country, number 1 in Iowa. He was a 4-star coming out of high school, so he definitely had a
So
scholarship.
he's kind of cheating on our walk-on receiver. list.
100% cheating.
Well, good thing Grant Mulkey came there at the end of the But our list of wonderful walk-on wide receivers again goes with Oliver Martin, Brody Belt, Levi Falk, Cade Warner, Lane Hovey, Sam Birch, Grant Mulkey, Brandon Riley, and Todd Peterson. Hopefully, when we do this list 5 years from now, we can include a Ty Hahn, an Alex Bullock, and Elliott Brown, Baron Miles Jr., or any of the other walk-on wide receivers that may step up. And again, the goal here, the biggest goal would be to be a Brandon Riley, to be a Todd Peterson, to make us forget that you were a walk-on at all to begin with, would be very cool.
Give me Ty Hahn.
Ty Hahn?
Give me Ty
that's your
Hahn.
pick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was great in high school. The dude did everything. Was it Johnson Brock? I think. I'm not 100% sure.
I'm not sure about that.
I know it's Johnson something. I'm pretty sure it's Johnson Brock.
sounds correct.
I'm
but
pretty
yeah.
sure that's what it is. Text line, let me know if I'm wrong. But he did like everything for that school, and I was excited when he decided to walk on in Nebraska. I don't know about anybody else, but I hope that he's able to get into those ranks of one of the better walk-on receivers.
He's getting some recognition so far. Alex Bullock, another guy. So I think among the walk-on receivers that we've mentioned so far, I think Ty Hahn and Alex Bullock probably, based on what we're hearing from the coaching staff, are going to have a chance to be in the mix there. 4250 says Tim Marlowe, no doubt. Tim Marlowe was a scholarship player. I would say I'm not sure why you think he wasn't, but I am sure why you think that he might not have been.
I understand.
I get where you're coming from, but Tim Marlowe actually did get a scholarship.
That's messed
out
up.
of high school. Somebody, oh, that's the same. I was going to say somebody else also saying I'm throwing bones with Marlowe, biggest heart on the team. Again, a scholarship player, but I again understand why you might think he might not have.
Yeah, we did.
Aaron says Todd Peterson had a big touchdown catch to help beat Clemson in the Gator Bowl. That is correct. Todd
Yeah,
Peterson,
but was it the winning touchdown? Was it the winning catch? Don't think so.
You really like that Brandon Riley out of bounds.
Yeah, because he was definitely out of bounds and that shouldn't have counted.
That's
but
right.
it did, and we're okay with it. At the time, I was like, oh, yeah, he was definitely shoved out. And then the more you watch it, you're like, you know what? They got that wrong. But I'm not mad.
It is funny because when I was making this list, I thought there might be a Marlowe mention.
Of course it was.
And there was. So thank you for letting me have that pay off. Some insight too from Disc Golf Jake. Apparently he knows Eric Martin was a very good dancer at the Playmore Ballroom back in the day. So shout out to, I guess Eric Martin can dance.
There you go. One hell of a line dancer.
And Garball just says Riley may have to set the record for longest Uber ride. So I don't know what that means, but maybe he gave him an Uber.
Oliver Martin.
Oliver Martin.
Or no, actually, I don't know what he's talking about. Riley.
I think he's talking about Brandon Riley.
Oh yeah, no, because he went from he had to go up to Buffalo.
That's right. He did. He Ubered to get to training camp.
Yeah,
that's correct. I forgot about that. So,
thanks, Garbologist.
Yeah, good memory there. All right, we'll take a break.
Can you imagine? Just like,
pain.
hey, dude, I need to go to Buffalo. It's like, well, let's do it.
I've been waiting for
road
this
trip with a stranger.
my whole Uber life.
Do you talk to them?
Oh, you have to eventually. I mean,
or do you just sleep in the back seat? Do you sit in the front or do you sit in the back?
Oh, you sit in the back for that. That's a long ride.
Yeah,
but you have to talk.
I'm not sitting in the
You have
front.
to say something. Also,
I'd be scared to fall asleep.
The weirdest thing is that you'd also be kind of like thinking the whole time, what's the tip going to be?
Yeah, because that dude has to go back.
Yeah.
If he had a family, what does he tell his family? Like his wife's just like his significant other's just like, hey, why are you going to Buffalo? I got to take a guy to Buffalo.
I'm assuming he made out good money on that, but I don't know if Uber was the way to go. Apparently, somehow, Riley.
Thank you for that, Garbologist.
Yeah. Good memory. Yeah, I forgot about that. All right, let's take a quick break. We've got plenty more to talk about, including Nelly is in the news. Bo Nix, one of your guys.
Love it. As
well. So we'll talk about that, as well as Mookie Betts, Luke Reimer, and UConn and Gonzaga, all coming up next year on 93.7 The Ticket.
Repeat after me. I will not touch the fuse box.
I will probably not touch the fuse box.
Tip, do you remember what happened last?
Of this block lost power. It went haywire.
That's right. Wow. So what do we do instead?
Call Joe at Ambition Electric and handle everything. Look, saved on speed dial.
Ambition Electric, 402-217-3415, or online at ambitionelectric.com. Walters Painting Incorporated salutes our Vietnam veterans this summer season. Our Vietnam veterans fought in a difficult, complex war. Please offer the long overdue respect they deserve. The staff at Walters Painting Incorporated is your interior, exterior, commercial, and residential paint. He doesn't cut corners, he paints them. To book an estimate, visit walterspainting.com or call 402-730-1781. The staff at Walters Painting Incorporated honor our Vietnam veterans.
Ironhide Construction has an immediate opening for an administrative assistant in their Lincoln office. The ideal candidate will have experience performing a variety of general office, administrative, and clerical duties. If you have excellent communication and organizational skills and are the type of person who enjoys keeping track of all the fine details, then this job is for you. Learn more online at ironhideconstruction.com/careers. Ironhide Construction, quality buildings and genuine service at a reasonable price.
If your car has sent you to the sidelines, Eustace Body Shop can help. With gold-class certified technicians, OEM parts, and free loaner cars, Eustace Body Shop is your best choice this Husker season. And with 6 locations across central and eastern Nebraska, we've got you covered, whether you're rooting at home or you're headed to Memorial Stadium. Free online quote at eusticebodyshop.com, and let's get you back in the game.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful. I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always Starter Heyman. Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sure.
Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
All Wings fans, 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
Nutrition Authority invites you to save 35 to 75% off at our back-to-school blowout. We're taking our better-than-internet prices and cutting them even deeper, bringing you the biggest sale of the season. Monday, August 14th through 19th, the back-to-school blowout is on at Nutrition Authority. For location information, check us out at mynutritionauthority.com.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 90.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza, the big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
You're counting on your team to win. By placing your bets at Warhorse Sportsbook, their win is your win. Put your money where your mouth is on nearly every sporting event. Use the Warhorse app to check odds and build your bets before placing your wagers in person at Warhorse Casino, including live in-game betting. No bets, no glory. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Problem gambling can destroy an individual's finances, relationships, physical, and mental health. If you or a loved one are struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and Bob just wanted to say thank you for a record-setting July here at Koppel. The summer session continues in August, and the incentives crazy good. We got 0.9% financing along with a $2,500 trade-in rebate on select new models. You heard right. 0.9% has been extended along with a trade-in rebate. Also, our GM certified used inventory is filling up fast. So make that money-saving drive to Koppel. It's just south of the interstate, or shop online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with roof credit.
Chicken and prepares young people for success. Learn more about people involved in the organization and the success stories over years Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. for the Junior Achievement Hour on 97 at ticketfm.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather, Sponsories, plumbing, heating, and air conditioning.
Link forecast for today, sunny, breezy. It'll be a hot one this afternoon. We'll see a high of around 92. Tonight we'll see mostly clear skies with an overnight low of 66. Tomorrow we'll see mostly sunny skies again. Breezy and a little cooler tomorrow. We'll see a high of around 82. Meteorologist Kyle Clucker for 93.7 The Ticket and the ticketfm.com.
To the ticket, 93.7 The Ticket and the ticketfm.com.
We are back here on the Ticket Water Cooler on 93.7 The Ticket. Thanks for joining us here on a Wednesday. If you missed our walk-on wide receiver trivia, you can find that at theticketfm.com after the end of the show, or YouTube page, or any way that you find our content. But we had a fun time running through some of the walk-ons wide receivers of the past, because we might see a little bit more of them, especially in this to start the season, maybe before some of the freshmen get into the mix as the season goes on. But we'll have to wait and see. We talked the other day too about how Subway is narrowing down their list of people to they're going to give one lucky or unlucky person a lifetime supply of Subway as long as they change their name to Subway. Rico suggested he might change his name to Chick-fil-A.
No, I would.
You would.
I would.
For a lifetime supply of Chick-fil-A.
100%. Look, I'm going to clip this. I'm going to send it to him. Chick-fil-A. Look at me. Look at me real quick. Come here. If you offer me Chick-fil-A for life, I will change my name, my first name, maybe my middle name, I don't know, to Chick-fil-A. I will be Chick-fil-A Alvarez Clary, just for you, so I get some free chicken for life. That's all I'm saying. So keep that in mind.
Yeah. That's a heck of a marketing ploy. Subway's doing it, and I mean Rico's on the radio. He plans to be with 93.7 The Ticket
for a very long
time.
For
a very long time. So
as long as they'll keep me.
Yeah.
Maybe if I change my name, I might not be able to.
Well, that might be a side deal. You have to work DP into a sandwich here and there.
Yeah.
But
I'll bring him a sandwich.
Yeah.
I'll bring him some nuggets.
Well, Chick-fil-A might. I mean, with the Subway deals, it has to be just you. So Chick-fil-A is gonna have. You're gonna have to some.
Look, I'll do it. We've said their name enough. No free advertising.
That's right. But in any case, it's one thing to rename yourself or to do it for your own purposes. It's another when you're naming your child. However, that did not prevent a fan from naming his child after Mookie Betts. A fan went to the baseball game, sat close enough to the on-deck circle that he was actually talking to Mookie Betts when he was waiting. He said if he hit the home run, that he would name his daughter after Mookie Betts, who was not quite born yet. Mookie hit a home run, and then they kind of did a high five or whatever.
He fist bumped him through because he was behind. He's behind home plate ish.
Yeah.
So he gave him a fist bump through the netting, and then continue. Sorry.
Well, yeah, and then a few weeks later, he sees on Twitter the birth certificate for Francesca Mookie Mancuso. So the middle name, good job, and good on you for at least not going full forward with the first name. Mookie's not a great girl's first name.
Maybe.
But it works for a middle name. And maybe it would be either. I like the name Mookie. But in any case, that's a lot of dedication. But at least you pay off on the bet. You've got a story. And now Mookie Betts, it's not just kind of like I'm a celebrity, whatever. He says this is basically his new fan. He's going to be excited to meet her and probably, because she's named after him and because they've made this connection, probably down the line, we'll have at least some sort of relationship.
Best friends forever.
Yeah,
Best friends forever.
So I think it works out for everybody involved. But would you consider naming your child after an athlete?
Yes.
Your star athlete?
Yes.
You would?
Yes.
You've had children. Have you done it?
No.
No.
I would.
But you would?
100%.
Why didn't you?
Don't think the wife would approve.
Well, that's the problem too. This fan had to go through the wife.
So I don't know his wife if she's a sports fan. But my wife, like we like different teams, so I might be able to sneak in like a Carmelo into a middle name, maybe,
Yeah,
but I doubt it.
Yeah. Well, the name also has to work, and that's part of it too.
Yeah.
Cade
Mello Alvarez Clary doesn't really roll off the tongue.
Yeah. But it always works for dogs. That's why I name my dogs after my athletes.
Yeah, that would work. A pet definitely works, but
Yeah.
a child, that's a different story.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know if they would appreciate when they grow up. But either way, I mean, this, as far as being part of a story, a national story, and probably having some sort of connection to Mookie Betts, who's going to, I don't want to put this like this is the reason they're doing it, but I mean, he will be well off. We'll just say that. It could pay off down the line for them as well. So it's kind of a cool story altogether there.
Well, I mean, it's not like I feel like that guy's not struggling for money considering he was sitting behind home plate at Dodger Stadium.
That's probably the case as well.
But just a thought.
Yeah. So Melo would be your number one.
I was trying to think of like other ones. Like, I don't think I would do Tom Brady. I wouldn't do Brady. Like there's a lot of people that are just named Brady and it's not for him. So Gronk, maybe you throw that as like a middle name.
So that's a good pet name. Once again, a lot of them go with pet. My pet's name is Rondo.
Yep.
I mean, Rondo, the basketball player, my favorite all the time. The Rondo, the guy, not that great of a guy. Just to be complete honest, he's had a few things that maybe. So I'm glad I would never name my son after Rondo.
Like Kelsey, a little Travis Kelsey action. I don't know. Rachel's a Chiefs fan, so we do something like that. She's a Cubs fan also. I don't know. It'd be weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
Especially if like that, you're doing Mookie now, but like what if Mookie goes to a different team? What if that's the hard part is like it's your favorite player or favorite team and the good players on the team. Maybe it's just your favorite player. I guess that is also a thing. Maybe he was always a Mookie Betts fan even when he was in Boston. Like he was a Dodgers fan, but he was a Mookie Betts fan. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something like that.
There's not, the NBA there's a big thing where it's like the focus is on the player, not so much the team. That's not really the case for Major League Baseball as much. You're generally more of a fan of a team than a player. At least as I've known as Major League Baseball fans go.
Yeah.
I mean, there's guys that really like a Ken Griffey, but Kirk Griffey Jr.
I mean, like Nick's a Cubs fan. That's well documented, but he's a big Adley Rutschman guy, and he plays for the Orioles. So
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like that's no, it could work because and now I can't even remember his name. So how much of a fan am I? One of the outfielders for the Miami Marlins. And I cannot remember his name for the life of me, and I feel like a terrible fan of him.
I'm not much of a baseball guy, so I can't help you out too much.
It's fine. Everybody knows talking about Euro steps into home plate. Big fan of him, even though I can't remember his name, so that shows how much of a fan I am. But I'm a Yankees fan, so I don't know. It's just one of those things where you could still have like a favorite player and a favorite team, and it works for every sport. But I feel like it works a lot better in basketball. Yeah, I think you're right. In the NBA, it's hard, and like in the NFL, it's a little. It's really just the skill positions. Like nobody's just like, man, I am a huge fan of Creed Humphrey.
Yeah, that's my guy.
Like, man, it doesn't matter where he goes. Big fan of Zach Martin. Like, that's not how that works.
Well, and I think there are like college football fans. Like for me too. Like the Cardinals are my favorite team, but also I cheer for ex-Huskers more. Probably even more so. So I mean, I think if you're more of a college football fan, then maybe you got players type of deal going in the NFL. But NFL is also kind of more of a team. You kind of stick with your team type of deal. Although not everybody does. Some people are wandering away from their teams that we've known.
It happens.
But I think that's cheating. If
you can't cheat on your team.
I should have wandered away from the Cardinals long ago, but I never did.
Jazz Chisholm. Thank you, Jake Sorensen.
There you go.
Smooth jazz.
That's right.
Kind of a fan, am I? Disgusted with myself. How dare I?
I also mentioned Bo Nix. Bo could be a name. How about Nix? Probably doesn't work. Bo.
Well, actually, Nix could work because it'd be two things. It would be spelled differently, but it would be Bo Nix and the New York Knicks.
That's right. So maybe Nix down the line. Bo Nix is getting a billboard put up in Manhattan.
Hell yeah.
The Heisman
Hell
Trophy,
yeah, he is.
I guess. Trying to get promotion marketing out there. It's often done from teams in college football. You buy a billboard in New York City. You hope that your player ends up there. What are the chances Bo Nix won the 4 finalists in New York
100%.
City?
100%. If Bo Nix isn't in New York for the Heisman ceremony, I'm not saying he wins it. If Bo Nix isn't in New York for the Heisman ceremony, something went terribly wrong.
I mean, he's had injury history here and there.
Yep.
He is one of the more exciting quarterbacks to watch. I think people kind of forget that, especially at his Auburn days was, just like
Freshman Auburn days.
Yeah,
not the later
that's true.
ones.
Freshman Auburn days.
Freshman Bo Nix was a problem.
Well, and it was like a lot of like last minute drives.
Yep.
Sidestepping,
crazy.
flinging. Yeah. So, I mean, he's got it in him. So we'll see. Bo Nix kind of I wouldn't say forgotten, but because he's just been in college football for so long, maybe he's somewhat are passing over him when you think of the top Heisman Trophy contenders. But Oregon's trying to make sure that's not the case and that you will remember him.
Sign me up for Bo Nix in New York, baby.
Yeah. I'd enjoy a football season where Bo Nix ends up in New York. I think I'd enjoy that.
I'm already sad that we're not gonna be able to see Bo Nix in Nebraska because he's gonna be gone. He's
right.
gone after this year.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Oh well, maybe it's better that Bo Nix doesn't.
It's not.
You'd have a cheering interest problem.
I would want Bo Nix to throw for 500 yards, but Nebraska wins the game. Sorry, the defense just has to have a bad game, but
Yeah, I
you
was
still
gonna
win.
say, so you're not cheering for Nebraska's secondary?
No, I am not. Not for that game, at least.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We've still got plenty more to talk about. I already mentioned Nelly, Luke Reimer, UConn, and Gonzaga. Not in the same story, but you're interested in all of them. We'll do that coming up next here on the Ticket Water Cooler at 93.7.
Proud to be vape shop.
Generation V.
Its roots are open at 27th and Superior.
Generation V.
Explore the largest selection of vape, Delta 8, Kratom, all your favorite brands of disposables, e-liquid, and premium THCA flower.
Generation V.
We'll guide you through our location Seward, York, Kearney, and Beatrice. Visit our newest store, now open at 27th and Superior in Lincoln. GenerationV.com. E6 contain nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and Bob just wanted to say thank you for a record-setting July here at Koppel. The summer sales event continues in August, and the incentives are crazy good. Check this out. We got 0.9% financing along with a $2,500 trade-in rebate on select new models. You heard right. 0.9% financing has been extended along with a trade-in rebate. Also, our GM certified used inventory is filling up fast. So make that money-saving drive to Koppel. It's just south of the interstate, or shop online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with roof credit.
When you think of places with tons of great sections and amazing food menu in Omaha, the conversations start and end with Bearschen Beer Garden in Benson. With more than 30 beers on tap, including several German options, you find, don't forget their Nash or their delicious hamburgers. Start off with warm house-made pretzels, and you're on to a great day at Bearschen Beer, heart of Benson, Omaha.
Your counter team to win. Not Warhorse Sport. Their win is your win. Put where your mouth is on nearly every sporting event. Use the Warhorse app to check odds and build your bets before placing your wagers in person at Warhorse Casino. Live in-game. No bet, no glory. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay. Playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza. The big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea? That's a lot of pizza, just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
What would you tell a friend who was on the fence about going to Limitless Mail?
I would tell them to go to Limitless today. Don't hesitate. You're going to second guess yourself on if it's the right decision. The staff there is amazing. The treatments work. I'm living proof that it can completely change your life for the better.
Join thousands of men who have changed their lives with testosterone treatment. Slow down the aging process and live life. Schedule your free consult at limitlessmail.com.
Repeat after me. I will not touch the fuse box.
I will probably not touch the fuse box.
Sip, do you remember what happened last time?
Yeah, I remember.
What happened?
Half of the city block lost power.
And?
My chicken convoy.
That's right. The chickens ran wild. So what do we do instead?
Call Joe at Ambition Electric and let him handle everything. Look, saved on speed dial.
Ambition Electric, 402-217-3415, or online at ambitionelectric.com. Junior Achievement of Lincoln inspires and prepares young people for success. Learn more about the people involved in the organization and the success stories over the years. Thursday from 7 a.m. for the Junior Achievement 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are at Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
If your car has sent you to the sidelines, Eustis Body Shop can help. With gold-class certified technicians, OEM parts, and free loaner cars, Eustis Body Shop is your best choice this Husker season. And with 6 locations across central and eastern Nebraska, we've got you covered, whether you're rooting at home or you're headed to Memorial Stadium. Get a free online quote at EustisBodyShop.com, and let's get you back in the game.
The most recommended Eustis Body Shop. That's who we are.
The captain for Sean Jackson.
Gilbert could be at every down tight end. He looks the part. I mean, I had a kind of chance to talk to him. He has, to me, transformed himself again in the offseason. I want to see him blocking and play action stuff.
Well, maybe if you do put him in, throw a quick hitch to him and, let the big guy rumble.
But I think Fedoni is just as dangerous. I think you put those two guys together, that's a dangerous tight end room. I like them together more than I like them apart.
To the Ticket Water Cooler on 97 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back here on the Ticket Water Cooler, and it's almost time for the crossover. Nick Sainert jumping in studio to help preview Happy Hour, and maybe we should try to get see if we can get his walk-on trivia knowledge in on here as well. We're not going to give out the numbers, but we tested Rico earlier, so I'll just go from
and
name
I
to name
aced it.
and see what you think
take
here.
yours off.
Why?
He's got glasses on.
Are they your track?
They are. They were in my car. And I was like, ooh, I'm going to wear these.
Where am I?
They're in my car. That's why I put these ones on.
I need you to go get them after this commercial break.
I will think about it, but I can't guarantee you anything.
I am the black shirt 43.
Also, my car is locked, so don't even think about it.
All right, so Nick, I'll give you this question here. Who had more yards, Brandon Riley or Todd Peterson? Remember those guys?
I do.
He's gonna get it wrong.
Todd Peterson was one of my more favorite wide receivers growing up because he was paired with Nate Swift.
That's right.
Gosh, and Nate Swift was awesome.
Nate Swift was that dude.
I can't take you seriously. They're way too small for your face.
That's rude.
Well,
are they really?
They look like super small.
I look great.
They just look super small.
They're not supposed to be big.
And
they're for speed.
I never know how to
wind resistance.
Perceive blue lenses.
He looks like he's maybe going swimming, or
he looks like a Power Ranger.
Oh, if I look like a Power Ranger, I'm never taking these off.
The blue Power Ranger.
I don't want to be the blue Power Ranger.
Anyway,
I want to be the Black Ranger.
My gut is telling me Todd Peterson, so I'm going to go Todd Peterson.
Todd Peterson did have more yards than Brandon Riley. All right, throughout the rest of them, those guys are in the kind of their separate group, rows above. So they had too many yards. Throughout the rest of them, we'll see who had more yards here. Oliver Martin or Brody Belt?
Oliver Martin?
That's correct. Oliver Martin or Levi Falk?
Levi Falk.
No, it's
Nope.
Martin.
Oh my god.
Oliver Martin or Cade Warner?
Cade.
It's still Oliver Martin.
What is going on?
Wow.
Oliver Martin?
I am so much better than him at this game.
Oliver Martin or Lane Hovey?
What a name. Oliver.
That's correct. Oliver Martin or Sam Birch?
Oliver.
That's correct. And the last one, Oliver Martin or Grant Mulkey? That might predate you a little bit.
That predates me a little bit, but we're gonna still go with Oliver.
That's a great movie.
Dang.
He was celebrating the win.
Oliver Martin.
Oliver Martin putting up some numbers.
Over the you forget that he was a walk-on.
Well, Nick,
he was
number
one wide receiver.
So he was a walk-on in Nebraska. We looked up Oliver Martin's high school recruiting.
Yeah.
He was the 47th best recruit in the nation.
No, I think that was wide receiver.
No, it's not. According to 24/7 Sports, he was the 47th. In the composite, he's 172nd. But still,
that's quite a difference.
It is. He was the 7th best receiver in the nation,
Still,
according to 24/7.
yeah.
The 28th best receiver in the nation in the composite. But he was the best receiver in this, or he was the best recruit in the state of Iowa.
What?
But
He
a
was
walk-on for Nebraska.
He was a 4-star. He went to Michigan, then he went to Iowa, and then he went to Nebraska.
What happened? I mean, the guy. So yeah, he was an All-American, U.S. Army All-American.
Yeah.
He played in the All-American game on NBC.
Like what?
Dang, that is so wild. Just because.
Do you want to know the teams that offered Oliver Martin out of high school?
Yeah.
Michigan,
This
Iowa,
is gonna be an Oliver Martin.
Michigan State, Notre Dame, Auburn, BYU, Central Michigan, Eastern Michigan, Florida, Illinois, Indiana, Minnesota, Ohio State, Oregon, UCLA, Wisconsin, Vanderbilt, Western Michigan.
Well, those are some good offers. Michigan's not a bad place to land.
And then he,
Not at all.
And then he walked on to Nebraska.
Eventually walks on to Nebraska.
Yeah.
I'm going to take these off.
Remember, what was it, the Illinois game where he had like 100 yards a couple years ago, week 0? And we thought he was going to be like...
We were like, this is it. Oliver Martin
this might be
breakout,
the
baby.
guy, yeah.
No. The play of Oliver Martin's career that I remember the most is the first game of the season against Illinois. He coming across the middle, he completely gives up on a ball.
He did that.
And he gets picked off.
And he got picked off, and everybody was blaming Adrian Martinez for it.
Yeah.
It was a good throw.
It was fine. Like, I mean, it probably wasn't anything special.
He would have put himself out there for a big hit, but it wouldn't have been picked off probably.
Maybe it was
turning the defensive back.
like, come on, man. Yeah.
At least knock it down.
Give it up. Like you watch the replay and he like stops running about 3 yards ahead of it. And
Everybody's like, oh, you can tell all this stuff in slow motion. I go, no, you can tell. He was just like, nah.
That guy just gave up on a ball.
Not today, Steve.
But we're not going again. This is to prop up Oliver Martin. He got 428 total yards.
Of course.
We don't need to remember the one
Yes.
time you got mad at Oliver
Yeah.
Martin.
Well, and Heavy D, Brandon Riley was a walk-on and then got a scholarship.
Exactly. Well, and so did Todd Peterson.
Yeah.
If you end up having over 1,000 yards in your career, you're going to get a scholarship.
Here's this question for you. Did Brandon Riley stay in bounds?
No.
Should the touchdown?
No.
The touchdown
It should
have
not. It should not have.
Not necessarily. No, it probably
Dang.
shouldn't have counted.
Do you guys remember where you were at for that game?
I was at home.
I think I was here.
I was in the stadium. I was, let's see, it would have been on the East Stadium, down below, and I was watching it like by a concession stand, on the TV, but at the stadium, and the entire stadium shook.
Oh, I'm sure.
When Brandon Riley scored that touchdown, and then it was even louder when the official was like, "It's a touchdown."
Play stands. Not confirmed.
We were all like,
stands.
we're all sitting there like, "Yeah, he was pushed out. He was pushed out."
That was telling Bach. I was like, that was my first thought. And the more that I've seen that play, the more I'm like,
definitely,
no,
definitely not. Definitely
And
not
Michigan
pushed
State
out.
fans, by the way, will still contend if there was a 14 playoff at that time that they would have won the national title. Remember, they did go on to beat Stanford in the Rose Bowl. They won the Big Ten that year. I mean, it's a legitimate kind of conversation, but the fact that they lost to Nebraska was. Ugh.
And then the one time they did make it into the 14 playoff, they didn't score a
that didn't
point.
work out.
Did they lose like 55-0 that game?
Yeah, to Alabama.
Was it 55 or 35?
I don't think it was that bad, but it was 0. They didn't score.
No, I think it might have been 50. It was bad.
I don't think
was
it was
very
50
bad.
something, but it was. They did
38
not
to
score.
0.
Dang it.
Yeah, they did.
It
not
was
score.
bad.
It was funny because
Can we guess the year?
Tom Stevens had
What?
his wedding that night, and he was kind of thought like,
Yes,
"Oh
I remember
man,
that,
I don't want. Now everybody's gonna be mad at me because they're gonna miss the big game." And then it's just kind of on, and we're all just like, "That game sucked."
Yeah, like this is not great.
Good thing we didn't watch that game.
Yeah, well, they made the 14 playoff in 2015.
Or so that was the year.
That was
yeah, that's
the
right
year.
because there was a 14.
Yeah, they
playoff.
made that 14 playoff.
Maybe that was 20. I'm trying to think of what year that they contend that. Might have been. They must have had another loss year before the playoff.
Remember when?
But that is correct.
Do you guys remember when Kirk Cousins came to Lincoln?
Yeah,
and
with Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, with Le'Veon Bell, and Nebraska beat him 24-3.
Yeah, they scored 3 points.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's all. Connor Cook came to Lincoln a couple of times. It was
Some
Connor
pretty
Cook.
solid teams.
There were some interesting quarterback names on throughout Michigan State's years. Those Mark D'Antonio teams had really good defenses.
That's because of Pat Narduzzi.
Yeah, Pat Narduzzi, the defensive coordinator, Pat Narduzzi.
Absolutely.
I mean, those
Pitt head coach Pat Narduzzi. Yeah, pretty good. Won the ACC title
1 year
years ago.
They did
with
Jordan Addison.
with Mark Whipple.
With Mark Whipple, that's correct.
What do we think Mark Whipple is doing right now?
Like at this moment, or just as a job?
Just as anything. I mean, at both. Right at this moment, he's probably sitting on a couch doing something,
Listening to the show.
Yeah,
maybe he's watching ESPN. I don't know.
It's probably.
I
don't know
see.
either.
So now that it's in the past, I can tell the story.
Dude, Mark
Like,
Whipple won a Super Bowl.
I can tell the
Steelers.
story now that it's. I mean, definitely the statute of limitations is passed.
Has it?
Well,
No,
it's been
a year.
It's been about.
If he's gone, he's
It's
gone.
been about 9 months,
Yeah.
right? This is when like we knew kind of. It was wild because in Iowa last November, you could kind of tell things were like the wheels were turning and stuff like that. And this isn't going to be a surprise to anybody, but like, so we were up in the Iowa press box or whatever, and right before halftime, when Nebraska's, for example, when Nebraska's offense is not going to have the ball for the rest of the quarter, they will start to make their way down to the locker room for halftime.
Mhm.
The coaches will move and they run. The guys hold like if you're up there, you know you won't be able to use the elevators within like 3 minutes of each quarter, or excuse me, of each half, like the second and fourth quarter, because they save them and they hold them open. Nobody will be able to use elevators because they hold the elevators open for the coaches. And so there's just like the doors are all like always open and they're just holding them for the coaches to go down. So that way, when they run out of their press box, they can go right in, they go right down to the field. Well, so I was like, believe it or not, it was halftime and Nebraska, I think, ended the half with the ball. So like they had to wait till the last possible second to go down. And it was like all the coaches but Mark Whipple went down. And I remember like thinking that's really weird that like your offensive coordinator just hangs out and Mark Whipple is just up in the press box,
but not
just,
going down
just
to
by
halftime?
himself
Huh.
the entire halftime during the Iowa game last year. And then all the offensive coaches came up and there we go. They were in the press box. And it was like, but you saw all the coaches run down and like Mark Whipple did not.
Was he still dealing with any sort of like movement?
Well, you remember
you
like
know?
after the Michigan game, or, you know, he was at the Michigan game.
Something like-
when he got hit.
He got hit.
Yeah.
And he was like up in the press box the rest of the way. I
Yeah.
thought.
Well, that's what I'm wondering if like it like for just like he didn't want to move too
Yeah.
much, so maybe they just
And maybe
let him
he
go
like
back and,
maybe.
yeah. So that's it.
But
that
it was
is
also,
interesting,
you
though.
know, that sad picture that everybody saw after the Iowa game where he just stood, he was standing in the tunnel and everybody was celebrating and somebody was like, yeah, they asked him if he was going to go celebrate and he's like, nah, I'll let them have it. And I'm just like, no matter how you feel about Mark Whipple, like that made me sad. Like that made me really sad.
That's like the one moment he should have.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, get out there, celebrate with your guys, man.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was just, it was kind of interesting to just see, because, you know, wherever you're at, you see all the coaches go down, whether it's Iowa coaches or whether it was Nebraska coaches, and like all the grad assistants and all the people that were up there. And then it was like, well, everybody's just down in the halftime or, you know, doing halftime stuff. And Mark Whipple's just up there by himself.
Let's pause quickly for station identification. We'll be right back here on the Ticket Water Cooler.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The home of Kansas City Royals baseball. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
That's funny. Somebody, Heavy D actually texts in with his shoes off.
Probably wherever he's doing.
Honestly,
wherever he's at.
he was just always never forget the picture at the press conference where I was just like, I think it was Mitch Sherman tweeted it out, and I was just like I was standing next to Mark Whipple with my arms
Big
crossed,
bodyguard energy.
and it was like big bodyguard energy
Yes.
because anyway, Ron, this one's good. Ron says on the text line, I was behind Mark Whipple at High V, and he was buying ice cream in an ice cream bar. Now I can only think of him sitting on his couch eating ice cream. Yeah, I mean. It's disappointing how it all went down.
Well, Mark Whipple will never visit Lincoln again. I
No.
don't think would be any reason.
No.
Yeah. He's not. It's not like Coach Riley sticking around for the basketball game. I don't think Mark Whipple would.
There's very few coaches that would be able to.
Yeah.
Like be able to
would enjoy it at least.
Yeah, like a Mike Riley where he goes to a basketball game.
Mike Riley, I think, could retire here. We'd like Mike Riley. I mean,
are there ill feelings towards Mike Riley?
I think there's more ill feelings toward the athletic director who hired Mike Riley.
Well, I feel like people try to blame Mike Riley for like the downturn in high school football, but I don't I don't think it's his fault because the best teams outside of obviously the best 3-win team in college football history, the best teams that Frost had were with Riley's recruits. And although they didn't win that last season, their first 2 seasons, he had a winning record. I don't think that he was the reason for the downfall. I think he really liked it here in Lincoln. I think that I feel like he should be accepted back. Just like, oh, hey, Mike Riley, remember the 3 years that you were the head coach here? Cool.
I mean, that's a question for the text line. I mean, out of the recent coaches in any sports, I mean, who are the ones that are welcome back the most? I mean,
Tim Miles is welcome back.
Obviously, Tim Miles is welcome back.
Beloved here.
Like Doc.
Oh yeah.
Oh, people love
Doc. Doc's now with Kansas, the Jayhawks.
Yeah.
Is he?
And Bill Self.
Went from Oklahoma to Kansas?
Yeah, he's now in Lawrence.
Look at him.
Which this is completely off topic. How about the Kansas Jayhawks investing $300 million
into their football
into
program?
the football program.
Have you seen the pictures for their new stadium?
The renderings are pretty sweet. The commitment that they are putting in, both financially and just overall into Lance Leipold, is awesome.
And I learned that through that video, because it came from the K Athletic Department, that Kevin Harlan went to Kansas. I didn't know that, so they had him voice it over. Kevin Harlan's one of the guys.
I thought they just hired Kevin Harlan to do the voiceover.
Yeah. Well, they probably still have to pay him. But
how about this? Jay texts in and says none.
None.
Jay says none.
Jay
wow.
says none.
Well,
Jay
if Jay
Foreman.
says none, then none.
Okay, nobody's allowed.
All right.
Wow. Jay will beat him up.
I don't know. Mike Riley had to live in the embassy for like 3 years. So
I don't think he ever got a house.
well, no, I think there's something about the paint, right? His wife
Something
was
about his
allergic
wife's
to paint.
allergic.
Yeah, allergic to certain kind of paint.
Would Bo Pelini be welcome back?
I don't think Bo Pelini wants to come
Bo
back.
Pelini would find the people he doesn't like and fight them. But so there's like a large majority of people that love Bo Pelini would love to have him back, but it's still he would focus on the 20% that
like obviously Frank Solich was welcome back.
Yeah, Frank for sure.
Finally.
Bill Callahan will not be.
No.
But
Never forgive me.
Again, well, this is different. Not great. Bo's best teams were Bill Callahan recruits.
There you go. You have to keep the consistency going.
Well, if I said it with Mike Riley, but it's different with Bill, it wasn't good.
Yeah. Kevin Cosgrove, the defensive coordinator, not going to be welcome back.
Yeah. Jay says only Frank.
How about
So
Scott?
only Frank?
How about Scott? He won a time.
Is he
No.
welcome
Scott
back
Frost.
as Scott Frost, the player? You got to separate the player from the
can't-
coach.
You can't separate it though.
Why?
There's just too much.
If they do a 30-year
Jay- okay,
anniversary,
so
of the
time- this is the best part. This is the best part. Jay goes none, and then he goes only Frank and Bo kinda. So it's not
That
none.
makes more sense.
It's not none.
Is it just head coaches? What about offensive, defensive assist? Like,
I can think about that a little bit.
I mean, that's digging deeper
Shout out
into
to Bill Bush.
who is
Tim
here.
Beck, welcome Tim Beck back.
Tim Beck, the head coach
Hey.
at Coastal Carolina.
Yeah,
Head coach?
Yeah.
absolutely.
Wow.
He went from offensive coordinator at NC State
Yeah,
to
that's right.
head coach of Coastal Carolina when Chadwell went to Liberty, which seems like a very lateral move, but whatever.
Well, somewhat. I mean, Liberty had an NFL player, Malik Willis.
Good for them.
Then
So does Coastal Carolina.
Hugh Freeze. I mean, Hugh Freeze put some eyeballs on Liberty.
Jake chiming in
So-
again. Danny Nee, hell yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes, Danny Nee, absolutely. Barry Collier? Probably wouldn't do either way.
I'm trying to
I
think.
feel like you come back and people are like, oh, cool, it's Barry.
Barry.
Tim Beck's so fast. I mean, not fascinating in probably a good way, but like his recruiting at Ohio State was really, really good.
Yeah.
Tim Beck was a really good recruiter when you had a team that he had at Ohio State to be able to recruit too.
Yeah.
Like, he was the reason Tate Martell. Now, obviously, the college career didn't work out for Tathan, but Tathan Martell, he's the reason that he went from Bishop Gorman to Ohio State was
To
because-
Miami.
Yeah, then
To
to Miami,
UNLV.
to UNLV, to
acting.
Is that what he's
No,
doing
I
now?
don't know what he did.
Wouldn't be surprised.
that was the best part. Was on that QB1, that Netflix documentary or series or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They're like doing a little scene in Tate Martell's kitchen with his mom, and like Tim Beck's just in there. It's just like Tim Beck is just sitting there while they're talking about about Bishop Gorman High School. Which
Was
is
it a dead
obviously
period?
in
Should
Vegas.
Tim not have been there?
So I don't know. Tim Beck.
We get Ohio State in trouble.
I'm trying to think of some other.
Carl Pelini? Got to keep an eye on
Dude,
Carl.
I don't even know what Carl's doing.
I don't know what he's doing either.
I don't know what he's doing either. I'm just trying to go through any of the offensive coordinators from the last 5 years. They went through
Yeah.
4 of them. Troy Walters.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like a lot of them are welcome back, and I don't think they're going to get a lot of the blame.
it just wouldn't be like it wouldn't be celebrated.
Yeah.
It'd be like, a lot of these guys.
If Troy Walters came back, people were like, "Oh, cool."
Yeah.
Keith Williams.
What is he doing? He's the offensive coordinator for or wide receiver coach for like Cincinnati, right?
Yeah, he's on the staff.
The Bengals.
Yep.
Keith Williams.
Mark Banker, I'd welcome back. That's a football guy right there.
Danny Langsdorff.
Keith Williams is the
Danny
wide receiver coach for the
Langsdorff,
Baltimore Ravens.
Langsdorff, I give a little blame.
Shout out to isn't he with the Giants? Is he still with the
Is he?
Giants?
I
A
don't
lot
know.
of these guys went to the NFL. Like they left Nebraska and went to the
'cause
NFL.
They're just going as position coaches.
Well, guys, how do you feel about this? Because this is one thing. It is current where Matt Rule and like picked apart some of the Carolina staff, brought them to Nebraska. After he got everybody off the staff that he wanted, Carolina turned it around. Hopefully, just coincidence.
I hope
right?
it's a coincidence.
I mean,
I don't know. I
Don't be
also
that
like.
guy.
I'm just saying. I'm
Don't
just
be-
telling. I'm here to tell the story.
He
That's-
didn't.
That's part of the
well,
story.
that's not completely true because he couldn't get all of them off the staff until the season was over. So
Steve Wilkes was good.
maybe it was just him.
Yeah, Steve Wilkes deserves a shot. Barry Alvarez, somebody points out, would absolutely be.
Would he be?
Matt
Would
celebrated
he be
here.
welcomed back? He
Oh,
took
without a
everything
doubt.
Nebraska did good and took it to
It's
Wisconsin.
not his fault. Nebraska didn't get him to come here.
Matt Lubick.
Yeah.
I don't
Matt
think it'd be
Lubick could
celebrated.
Run a bank.
It would just be like, oh,
He
hey
could run a
Matt.
financial firm. In
Oh,
Lincoln.
that's right.
He
Yeah.
could.
What if he just settled down and established a financial firm in Lincoln?
Yeah.
I'd bank.
Matt
for-
Lubick.
I'd bank for Matt Lubick.
Well, this is why they talk about like players. It's like, hey, if you commit here, it could be a lifetime decision. It might like rarely you can say that as a college. It's kind of the same thing as an assistant coach. You can make
Wait.
a name here.
Do you guys know where? I forgot. I remember reading about this. Do you know where Matt Lubick's at right now?
Wasn't he was
He is
he
a
was
se-
retired in
he
like
is
Colorado or
He
something.
is a senior analyst. Has been since 2022. So he's going into his second year as a senior
As an
analyst.
Where?
University of Kansas.
Oh, okay. I do remember hearing about that.
Vaguely
Yeah,
remember. After being at Nebraska for 2 years.
What is the win-loss record
was-
of all the coaches that have left Nebraska?
God dang, that would be.
That would
mean,
be sad.
That would be sad. Because it'd be tough. Also, though, like you'd have to figure out what position they were, like position on the staff they were. Like, are they defense coordinator? Or are they?
No, I'm just
defensive
taking
backs coach.
I'm just taking win-loss. Just taking them all. That's it. Pretty simple. Simple
See,
stuff.
this factors in a little bit differently. How much
But-
they're adding.
Man, I just okay. I'm trying to think of like other assistants.
Somebody
that
says
have
Craig
left.
Bull. Craig Bull would be welcome.
Craig
back.
Bull would be
Yeah,
fine.
Oh, 100%.
So,
Mm.
yeah, and this is like Tom says this. Guys, don't feel too bad for Mark Whipple. I believe he had a guaranteed 2-year contract that paid him $1.6 million. How long will it take for most people to make that much? I get that. It also helped that he was coming off an ACC championship. It helped that he just came off coaching a Biletnikoff Award winner. Like,
it is kind of interesting to me
and
too.
an NFL quarterback.
Was he a Heisman finalist or did he?
Yeah.
Kenny Pickett.
It is also interesting to me too that like the two, just the directions that they're going in offense, like like Trev Alberts, was part of the decision last year to bring in Mark Whipple, I believe, or at least had to be sold on it, and that's completely different philosophy than what Matt Rule and his staff are saying. So it's kind of interesting that at least Trev from the outside looks like could have seen success under one system or the other, which leads you to believe he believes more in the coach than the system, or maybe learned from the first hire
Yeah.
to the next.
Yeah.
Remember at a time when Nebraska was like
Sorry,
paying
left.
4 former head coaches or something
I
like
do.
that?
Yeah.
They were paying people not to coach here.
Nebraska and Auburn are always paying more than anybody else to their former coaches.
We
That's
should
just how it works.
What we should do before the season starts is just try to highlight and find our favorite off the field moments from each coaching staff.
I don't like that at all, but sure.
I like that. That sounds fun.
Mine is absolutely Mike Riley taking the guys to Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
Oh, mine is just the Scott Frost. It's not on the field, but it was just post game. I think it was at Purdue. We had just the picture where he's just like behind the pillar, but it's like half of his face.
Probably Scott Frost for me is like we reach people and he named all the counties in Nebraska.
Yeah.
And it's like from
We're playing
Crete-
Uzbekistan.
from Crete to Milford, from Milford to Seward, from
Yeah.
Seward to Lincoln.
He just kept going.
And I'm just like, dang.
I
we
still
should
like
use this
him
as an
sliding
intro.
down the rail.
Yes.
last week.
That was a year ago.
Happy hour coming next on 93.17.
What would you tell a friend who was on the fence about going to Limitless Mail?
I would tell them to go to Limitless today. don't hesitate. You're going to second guess yourself on if it's the right decision. The staff there is amazing work that it can completely change your life for the better.
Join thousands of men who have changed their lives with testosterone treatment. Slow down the aging process and live life. Schedule your free consult at limitlessmale.com.
When you think of places with tons of great beer selections and amazing food menu in Omaha, the conversation should start and end with Bärschen Beer Garden in Benson. With more than 30 beers on tap, including several German options, you're sure to find something you like. And don't forget their Nashville hot chicken sandwich or any of their delicious hamburgers. Start off with the warm house-made pretzels and you're on to a great day at Bärschen Beer Garden in the heart of Benson in Omaha.
Landmark Implement is hosting their annual Air Seeder Clinic at the Landmark Holdridge Support Center near the airport on Wednesday, August 30th. Get a refresher on your air seeding equipment from Landmark's team so you're ready for seeding this fall. Session topics will include cover crops, Seed Start 2 and 4, calibrations, tractor prep, and more. Dinner will begin at 5:30 with the clinic to follow. All at the Landmark Holdridge Support Center on August 30th. Learn more at landmarkimp.com/events.
John Henry's Plumbing.
When it comes to your home or business, we know you have options, and that's why John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning gives you just that, options. We have plumbing, heating, and cooling memberships to serve all of your residential and commercial needs. We want to ensure you, your family, and your business are safe. Visit our website, jhlincoln.com, to find out more or call us at
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing.
Nutrition Authority invites you to save 35 to 75% off at our back-to-school blowout. We're taking our better-than-internet prices and cutting them even deeper, bringing you the biggest sale of the season. Monday, August 14th through 19th, the back-to-school blowout is on at Nutrition Authority. For location information, check us out at mynutritionauthority.com.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of local union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and